Millions of Canadians are huddled indoors on this Sunday because of a nasty winter storm. The powerful system is drifting across central and eastern Canada. It brings with it piles of snow, biting winds, and bone-chilling cold. Temperatures are so low that just a few minutes of exposure could mean frostbite. Meanwhile, snowblowers are getting a full workout today, clearing sidewalks and driveways. Parts of New Brunswick could get as much as 50 centimetres of snow. That snow could turn into freezing rain or rain in southern parts of the province. Environment Canada has issued a winter storm warning for all of New Brunswick. New Brunswick is a mess today. That powerful storm system is hitting that province with a mix of snow and ice pellets. And the Weather Network, Chris St. Clair, well, he is in Fredericton right now, joins us. Chris, good to have you. I can see the snow blowing around you. Talk to us about current conditions that you're facing right now.
Yeah, it is, well, bitterly cold. The temperatures have been in the minus teens, and they won't get above freezing in Fredericton. And this really compounds the problem here because the snow is coming down at a rate of about 4 or 5 centimeters an hour and will till mid-late afternoon. So that will equate to 20 or 30 centimeters of snow on the ground. The winds are pretty strong. That's blowing it around. This snow is light snow, so it drifts really easily. So that's reducing visibility on the roads in many parts of New Brunswick. Here's where this gets really tricky, and this is going to be the greater problem as we move through the latter part of the afternoon and into the evening. And this will really involve Moncton, St. John, and Fredericton. So that part of New Brunswick is, you'll get the snow, 20 centimeters, good number to think about, but you're likely to get anywhere from 8 to 12 hours of freezing rain on top of that. Along the Fundy shore and into Moncton, it'll actually go over to rain at times, but we'll lay enough of a layer of ice in place that flooding could become an issue. Plus, combine that with the strong winds, the potential is there for some isolated power outages. Listen, the RCMP have said it many times already. Don't drive if you don't have to this afternoon. This is the worst of it, the next 18 hours in New Brunswick.
Well, the beach in Goderich, Ontario looks anything but summery this morning. The boardwalk is empty, and in place of ice cream cones are solid pieces of ice. The temperature here expected to hover around the minus 15 mark for most of the day, and tonight's wind chill is expected to nosedive to minus 40. A very similar picture across much of Canada today, from the prairies all the way to Quebec City. And for most places, relief is still some 2 days away or even more. And a look right now at the nation's capital on another dangerously cold day. Yesterday, Ottawa had the dubious distinction of being the coldest capital in the world. And today, the wind chill could make it feel as cold as minus 35. Just one of a number of Canadian cities under an extreme cold warning today. And once again, this is Halifax. Hard to tell with the blowing camera and all that gray, but this is Halifax, and in that city and across Nova Scotia, wind is a big issue today. Environment Canada warning of winds that could reach 100 kilometers an hour. And in Montreal, it is a city in cleanup mode after a blast of snow yesterday and today. For the first time in 10 years, the plunging temperatures in Montreal have forced the city to cancel its annual Fête de Neige celebration. Well, the CBC's Ainsley McClellan is out in the cold, joins us right now in Montreal. So walk us through what it's like right now, Ainsley.
Well, I would say, Michael, it's not a day to be outside, and yet here we are. But it is one of those days where the city is having trouble. It's trying to keep up with the pace of this snow. It's really picked up within the past couple of hours or so, and so we're seeing on main arteries like René Lévesque behind me here that the plows are having to pass every few minutes just to keep up, and that's mostly because the snow is blowing around. We have winds 40 kilometers an hour, gusting up to 70 kilometers an hour, and that's causing those snow drifts that you get at the corners, especially. Visibility very poor out there, and so officials encouraging people to stay off the roads in Montreal, but then throughout all of the other regions of Quebec as well. We have Montreal expecting to get 25 centimetres of snow, Eastern Townships 30 centimetres of snow, the Gaspé upwards of 50 or more. And we had a major section of highway of the Trans-Canada Highway 20 just east of Quebec City between Lévis and Montmagny that has been closed in both directions this morning. So difficult conditions out on the roads today. Fortunately, according to officials from the city of Montreal, only one reported car accident in the city this morning, mostly because I think people are staying off the roads this morning.
Staying off the roads. But overall for the city, that one accident aside, what impact is this having on Montreal, Ainsley?
Well, as you heard, the Fête des Neiges, the winter festival, was closed up shop today. They decided because of the extreme cold that we're experiencing today that it wasn't safe for workers or for people to be out at Parc Jean Drapeau today. We have temperatures down around -17 and then the wind chill on top of that. And as you can imagine, out at Trudeau Airport, a lot of canceled flights, a lot of delayed flights as well. A lot of holiday goers who are trying to escape this winter seem to be stuck at the airport for now. Let's take a listen.
We've had a great trip for youth hockey and enjoying the snow, even if a little blizzard is coming through.
We've been delayed 4.5 hours. We're going to Martinique in the Caribbean, and we're hoping to get there this evening.
We're delayed from 8 o'clock till 1, but we're not sure if we're even going to leave yet.
Now, some flights have gotten out, so if you do have a flight leaving Montreal's airport today, you should check before you head out because it's not necessarily canceled. The city, meanwhile, says it's just in clearing mode for now. It's going to start moving the snow off of the streets by tomorrow, but they're just trying to keep things as passable as possible. Another note, they've opened up warming shelters to make sure that the city's homeless population has a place to go during the day.
Well, from Montreal to Toronto now, as that city had its strongest blast of winter yet this season. In fact, the CBC's Talia Ricci spoke to us from outside a warming centre in Toronto.
I haven't confirmed this with the city, but I did just speak with a street nurse who was in this respite center, and she says this one, among others around the city, are at capacity. As you mentioned, Environment Canada says wind chill today will make the temperature feel like -30, and this bitterly cold air mass is expected to stick around tonight, and that's when it'll feel the coldest. Now, this air mass means that Toronto residents can expect wind chill values of -30 into Monday, and then once the wind dies down, it'll be -20 tomorrow night. But relief is in sight. On Tuesday, a milder air mass is forecast to arrive in Toronto, and that'll bring a high of -5, so quite a big difference there. And the city tweeted earlier today that they are still finishing plowing the side streets, and so they're asking everyone in Toronto not to park there for now.